Hello and welcome to another episode of Finger Guns with Tony, Dave, and James. I am your co-host, Dave Baldwin, and here with me, as always, are
Venom
and
James Amatuzio.
And today...
You're never alone when you're with Venom.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Today, we're going to do something a little different, a little special. We're going to talk about 3 movies from 1992.
Hell yeah.
One of them we had already seen, and 2 of them were just on our list or to watch list on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
So Venom thought that I'm fine with calling you Venom more than fucking Vengeance. Thought that was that 1992 was 20 years ago, but we have since told him,
homie,
that it was 30 years ago.
30 goddamn years.
Fucking old, man.
So
Yeah.
doesn't it already feel a little bit weirder that they decided to have a 28th anniversary reunion of Pulp Fiction when they could have had a 30th anniversary reunion of
fucking
Reservoir
weird.
Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah, seriously.
I'm assuming it's because Pulp Fiction actually won the Oscar, not Reservoir
Right.
Dogs. And who are they gonna? And Harvey Keitel is like,
Hey, he's still kicking it, man.
I know he's still kicking
Tim Roth, Harvey Keitel, Michael Madsen.
Madsen's not looking great.
It'll be fine.
Chris Penn has since passed.
Yeah,
Hasn't he?
Chris Penn is no longer with us.
No.
Steve
Neither-
Buscemi.
Steve
Neither
Buscemi,
is-
come on.
Neither is
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
whoever plays Mr. Blue
Yeah,
or
Joe Cabot.
Joe
Joe,
Cabot.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's a lot of.
Did you know that guy?
unfortunate passings.
He played Elaine's dad on Seinfeld
Yep.
for one
Yes, he
episode.
did. Yes, he did.
And he was banned from ever coming back because apparently he scared the shit out of everybody.
I could see
Nice.
that. I could totally see that.
Man,
So
it was
they never
hardcore.
They never brought him back.
That is H-core.
yeah.
So the 3 movies we're going to talk about, we've kind of given away one. Reservoir Dogs is one. We also got Juice.
Yes, we got Juice.
Yeah,
Juice.
and Death Becomes Her.
Ooh.
So which one of these
Robert
3?
Zemeckis.
Which one of these 3 do we want to start with?
Well, we're already talking about Reservoir
Let's
Dogs,
keep going.
and that's the
Let's
one
go with
that
Tarantino.
we've already seen
Yep.
before. And yeah, it's still a great film, I think.
Man,
I still enjoy it. It's still very riveting, very thrilling. It's mostly one location.
Yeah.
Like-
And it's interesting that, like, a lot of it was, budgetary issues that, like, it was probably way too expensive to film the heist itself and, do all of that nonsense. So they did everything after, and it became even more thrilling because you never saw what actually happened. You were just kind of told what happened, and it was just like, oh shit, like...
Until the PS2 game. where
Yes,
you could do
yes.
it.
Then you get to do the
And
heist.
then you get to do the heist.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you could do it. I guess watching it in 2022,
Yeah.
there's a lot of white fragility
Oh,
and a lot
yeah.
of toxic masculinity. Like
Yes.
these guys, this is like a
Yes.
dick.
Ooh,
Like these
Yeah.
guys are just comparing dicks for most
Literally
of the
just
movie.
Yeah.
pissing competitions,
Yeah.
man.
Like the whole bit with when Keitel and Buscemi are fighting,
yeah.
and then Michael Madsen walks in. He's just hanging out with his fucking soda in the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Like what the hell? Like,
Yeah, but fuck, Madsen was cool as hell, man.
Madsen
Jesus
has never been
Christ.
cooler than he is in this one.
Seriously. And like when he delivers that line when he was just like, "Are you gonna bark all day, little doggy?" Well, I was watching it with my wife,
Yeah.
and like when he said that line, all of a sudden a light bulb popped up in her head, and she's like, "This is where you fucking got the line
Yeah,
from."
yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's better than when my wife watched Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom with me, and she realized where Kali Ma came from. Why would you want to do that to me?
It's Kali Ma,
Oh
motherfucker.
my god.
Yeah, a lot of toxic masculinity. Like
A
it's
lot.
very toxic, but the writing is exquisite.
Seriously.
And
it's-
it's like firecrackers. It just like pops
like
off,
it gets
pops
going.
off.
Like
yeah.
I was checking the time to see how far in I was. I was already halfway through the movie, and
Yeah.
felt like I just blinked.
Yeah.
Like it's so well done. I have some concerns about how much blood Tim Roth.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Just
seriously.
I've always had
It's a
concerns
pool.
about
It's
that
a pool,
because,
man.
Because like He's like, oh, you got shot in the belly. It'll take a couple of days. And then later he's like, he's not going to.
He's like, he's
white
for
as a
sure.
ghost.
Yeah.
And like his entire body is just blood
saturated
everywhere.
man.
Yeah. It's I love that and like it's a right at the beginning, it's like it's a really funny kind of like around the table waitress scene in a diner sort of thing. No tipping. Great. Madonna's big dick coming out of my left ear and Toby the fucking jab coming out of my right.
Yeah, there's still a lot of latent racism, but a little less.
I really don't appreciate how many times they were just throwing around the N-word.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was just
That
so
has not
casual. Like it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
I just felt very icky every time they fucking said it.
It was a little more subtle than in Pulp Fiction, where he had an entire monologue using the word.
And it was him. And it was like,
him saying it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Right? And
like, it's fine if Sam Jackson says it. It's not fine if White Boy McGee says it. Like, let's calm down.
Either way, it's just, I love that bit where Buscemi, like, basically yanks someone out of a car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when he's stealing the car. Yeah.
Just yanks her out.
Yeah.
He's got that giant hand cannon of a gun.
Yeah, that has like 77 bullets in it.
For sure.
Like every gun in that movie has 77 bullets in it.
And they always unload their entire clip on somebody. It's just like, you got how many rounds you got in there, and like, are you carrying spare mags? Because like,
also they're all gone.
Yeah,
and then Keitel's using two of them
for two guys, just unloading an entire fucking clip on them. Like, you guys are not thinking clearly with your bullet count.
Apparently in '92 you could just use as many bullets as you wanted.
It didn't matter. There was no budget on bullets. But like Mr. Orange takes it from like a little old lady in a car. What a chump.
Yeah.
What a fucking chump.
And it's funny because you don't find out like how he got shot until towards the end of the movie. So like it opens and he's like literally covered in blood, and like the entire back seat is just a fucking gore fest.
Yeah.
And you're thinking that he just got shot by a cop and everything. No, it was a little old lady and he wasn't paying attention and he gets fucking clipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like it's fun how thrilling that movie is when it's literally, as you said, like just a bunch of dudes in a room for most of it. I mean, you do the flashback so you can actually see how it was all pieced together.
Yeah.
You got Mr. Orange is like prepping for his monologue as a cop, and then he does the scene, and then even that is like a weird story within a flashback of like, now you're like seeing his perspective of telling the story as if he was telling the story in this bathroom with the cops, and like that moment, even though you know the entire story is complete bullshit, you're like, holy shit, this is intense. Like, these cops could get him at any moment. This never happened. It's just like, it's storytelling so well done that it just flies. It doesn't matter. Like it still holds, minus the shit that doesn't hold up. The rest of it still is like, it's so fun to watch. To this day, 30 years later,
and like Madsen dancing around, like
that's an all-timer. That's an all-timer scene for sure.
And Tarantino coming in and setting the stage with like his first full feature with obscure random ass soundtrack choices that like now you hear it on the radio and you hear Steelers Wheel come on, you're like, oh well, I guess I'm just gonna go cut off Buddy's ear now.
Exactly.
That was my karaoke song for a while.
Right, but like he like that, I'm sure that? In up until 1992 that was not the most like popular song out there, and now it is, and it's just like
that's the power of K Billy's Super Sounds
of the 70s. Yeah, shout out to Stephen Wright for doing the K Billy's.
He's so good. You just hear him throughout the movie. The behemoth.
he was great, but like
now some Steelers Wheel.
Just going back to like Tarantino's storytelling, like his script is rock solid. Like, you got the opening scene at the table with the tipping and everything, right? And you're with these guys and everything, and then you have the what is it, little green bag as they're walking in, that all-time scene, right? And then you have the credits, and then it's like boom, you got Harvey Keitel yelling in the car he's driving, and then Tim Roth is in and you're like so disoriented, and you're like, what the fuck just happened, right? And the story is it's something that we've come to accept with Tarantino, that he doesn't tell a story linearly, right? But back then, like, it was fresh, it was new, and like it's so like jumbled, and you're trying to put the pieces all together and everything. It's a mastercraft.
So I want to talk about that because I watched The Killing yesterday because I watched Reservoir Dogs a bit before. And so like I watched The Killing just before this episode.
Kubrick.
Kubrick, yes.
I just bought the Criterion.
That's a very good call. It's so I watched it and
there's a 4K coming out soon.
Yeah. After watching Reservoir Dogs, I was reading a little bit of like some notes just to prepare and everything. And I was like, one of the things Tarantino always mentioned is that he was inspired by The Killing to make Reservoir Dogs. Like it was very much like a heavy influence on what he was doing. So I went and watched The Killing because I'm like, all right, I've already seen Reservoir Dogs pretty recently. Let's do The Killing. Speaking of non-linear storytelling, that movie is entirely non-linear.
Yes, it is.
It jumps. It starts at a certain time, but then it cycles back, and it'll cycle back, and it'll cycle back, and like.
So instead of saying that we're going to Tarantino it, we should say we're going to Kubrick it.
We're Kubrick. You got it from Kubrick.
And like the difference there is like it's like a hardcore noir. You got the deep narration. At 4:30, he went and hopped in his car, and like it's like watching a detective thriller, but. And like the difference is there, you see the actual heist, like you see the entire setup. I was going to say,
you see the heist in that one.
But that non-linear aspect of like it feeds you a piece of information, and then it's like, oh, but where's this character? What were they doing? All right, let's snap back and we'll follow that character's motion. Okay, now let's snap back and we'll follow this character through it.
So like Rashomon,
kind of. Yeah.
Is it like so like the heist goes and then they snap back to one character and it like follows that character right up until the heist and snaps back to another character and like
basically yeah, exactly.
So it is kind of
it's more Rashomon.
Rashomon, yeah.
More Rashomon.
Kubrick was kind of doing that, and then Tarantino kind of did that, except he just didn't film the heist. But you'd follow a character and then you'd see Mr. Pink. And then his right post the heist, and then you'd follow Mr. Orange, and Mr. Orange, he would take you all the way back to the beginning and follow him up to a certain point, and like it would just
want to jump. I wanted more Mr. Pink. I don't give a shit about Mr. Blue. I wanted more Mr. Pink.
Mr. Pink.
Mr. Purple. Mr. Pink.
Mr. Purple. I love the way that man says purple. Jesus, purple.
That scene,
Mr. Pink.
Steve Buscemi was absolutely incredible. He was my favorite part. He was my favorite part watching it during this. One of the things that I think, and you guys can roast me all you want for it, but I think the weakest link in that was Tim Roth. He to me he was too over the top. Like when he's screaming and he's like kind of like crying and everything. Like I get the performance that he's going for. It's just he was the weakest part. You got Steve Buscemi, you got Harvey Keitel, who's absolutely incredible. You got Michael Madsen, who is slick, cool. Like he is a deranged psychopath, but you're rooting for him because he's just so cool.
Here's my counter to that. Everybody else is a certified professional criminal.
Okay.
They've been through this shit before.
Yes.
Mr. Orange, Tim Roth.
He's a first-year fucking thief.
Not even a thief. He's a cop. Second, he's a little bitch baby cop who's never really been shot before.
Yes.
Like these old guys are hardened ass fucking. They've been to prison. They've come out of prison.
Hardened criminals.
And he's just getting into this, trying to infiltrate this gang. But of course, it shows right away. He's like this little bitch boy that's like never had to go through this before, and he got shot and everything else.
You guys can say that all you want. Have either of you ever been shot?
No, and that's what I'm saying. I'm defending.
I've never been shot,
Tim
so
Roth's
I don't know what that
performance.
would feel like, and I'm assuming I would probably
100%.
put on my best actor. I do lots of best actor performances,
naturally,
and I feel like the one I would win for is if I got shot in the belly and I was and you guys were driving me around to the hospital.
Homie, I'm on your side. I'm defending Tim Roth. I think his acting choice was great because of that, because of what his character was.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense to me, whereas everyone else is like playing it super cool. I mean, they're heated and they're pissed, but they're not like crying and dying. Like they're ready to like kill me now. Like fuck this, let's go.
Yeah.
Whereas he's like whining and crying and oh my god, I'm gonna die. Which is fine. I like that.
I think we also need to say that would have been like early Tim Roth.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I think I'm not speaking for Tim Roth here, but I feel like Tony thinks it's over the top, but maybe that was the only way his accent wouldn't pop out.
Maybe.
You're
Although his speaking roles were fine.
No, I mean, but
I get it.
If it's one of your early performances,
no, but you could also see when he was talking normally, you could see that he was trying to hide the accent, right?
Yeah.
You could see it. Yeah, I totally like I said,
right?
I
like it's an early performance.
Yeah,
so
I totally get it.
You're allowed to have the criticism.
I was just watching it. It was just really annoying, and like I told you guys before this recording that like I totally had no memory of part of his backstory. Like there were certain scenes where I'm just like, I don't fucking remember this. I've seen this movie like 80 times and I do not remember this.
I remembered everything. It was just certain pieces of dialogue that I had forgotten.
Yeah.
Like not the key ones.
No,
where
you remember
everybody fucking quotes.
Yeah.
But I forgot some of the different nuances, and then other parts I was like, oh yeah, this is about to happen. Oh yeah, this fucking guy.
Yeah.
Can I, just before we switch into a different one, can I nitpick for one moment? Because it's bothered me since I've seen, every time I've watched Reservoir Dogs, there's been one bit that has bothered me.
Is it
to
the fact
no end.
that you don't know what a reservoir dog is?
Yes, 100%. No. What it is, so, just after they get to the warehouse, Mr. Blue is it Mr. No, not Mr. Blue. Who was Harvey Keitel?
Mr. White.
Mr. White. After Mr. White and Mr. Orange have had their like little, he's like settled him down and he kind of passed out. And Mr. Pink shows up and they're having the conversation in like the kitchen area. And Mr. White gives Mr. Pink a cigarette and they go to light it. And Mr. White sits there for like 5 seconds trying to like snap his Zippo into action, which, come on, man, just use your thumb. And then he gives up and just uses his thumb and it lights right away, which I'm like, yeah, see, bitch, come on. He then lights Mr. Pink's cigarette and it lights. And then he barely touches his and it doesn't light. And it's bothered me to no end that he never lit his cigarette. He just came close to it. And then the next time you see it, the cigarette's lit. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Also, they like walk down a hallway to that kitchen. And then like when they come back out, it's literally like
right there.
Yeah. Right there. Yeah. But it's a Sunday.
It's fine.
And the other bit is, now that I know what a Sundance movie is, it's totally a fucking time.
Do you also, as a fun little fact, that warehouse that they were shooting in, do you know what that warehouse was?
Oh Jesus, what is it?
It's attached to it was on a cemetery ground.
Oh,
so that ramp that Mr. Orange is laying on, bleeding out for 17 years, is the ramp that they like roll the fucking coffins up.
That's amazing.
And like if you look in the background, now that you know that, if you look in the background, everything that's like covered in like sheets and shit, it's just coffins. It's just tons, and there's a hearse parked in the back. He cleared glorious. None of it out. He just left it. He's like, all right, this is the warehouse we're gonna use.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
I know you want to cut on to the next one, but
whatever.
Either of you have seen City on Fire?
No.
City on Fire is
from the 80s. Ringo Lam.
Who's in it? Is it the movie that I'm thinking of?
Ringo Lam. So it has Chow Yun-fat.
Yes, it is the movie that I'm thinking of.
Sun Yi, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I've wanted to. I found out recently that it was a Christmas movie, and I wanted to sneak it in for a Christmas watch.
All right, that's going on the Christmas list.
He's always been criticized for ripping it off.
Oh, okay.
For Reservoir Dogs, and he does his usual Tarantino thing where he says it's an homage, and you're like, no, you're ripping it off.
You're ripping it off.
You're just you're using a fancy word for ripping it off.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to see it because people said that he's ripping it off. So I was just curious if either of you had seen it.
Hadn't yet. No.
I
went with the Killing instead of
City on Fire.
Yeah, City on Fire.
Okay, so City on Fire.
City
on Fire is celebrating its 35th anniversary.
Yeah, buddy.
Right. So there we go.
All right.
Adding to the list. Okay, so by popular demand, our one or two fans who mentioned it wanted us to watch Juice because I got the new 4K.
Yeah, buddy.
And it looks brand new. I was watching, I was like, this looks brand new, minus all the fashion and the stupid hats.
I mean, it's from 1991, 92. Like,
90s were a hell of a time.
It's, fuck that like one chick with the fucking like the jeans that were kind of like coming out over the belt, and the belt was there. I looked over at my wife and I'm like, what the fuck is that? She's like, I don't know, man. The 90s were fucked.
Yeah, the 90s were a hell of a time, man.
Jesus.
But I didn't know much about Juice going in. I knew it was a Tupac movie.
Yeah.
And I knew that Omar Epps is in it.
Yeah.
He
Shout out
looks
to
like
Omar
a reps.
baby.
Shout out.
Everybody looks like a
Everybody
baby.
is-
Oh my
Queen
God.
Latifah looks
Yeah,
like
man.
a
Yeah.
baby. So does Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was watching it with my wife, and my wife was
I'm glad
like,
you guys got to
Yeah,
watch
I
these
know,
movies
right?
with your wives. My wife would not sit through fucking Juice.
Well, I just gave her like I was like, we gotta. I need to watch this for the podcast, so it's either we watch it together or you go upstairs and I go downstairs. But we were watching it, and they're like, "What age are they supposed to be?"
They're high school,
High school
Yeah,
kids.
and that's what I said. It's just they knowing the actors and everything, and then trying to it. They didn't look like high schoolers. That's what I was gonna say.
What's funny, you see,
They looked young.
They looked young enough, but I
young enough, and Tupac would have been
like the age.
early,
he was 20.
Yeah,
early
early 20s.
he
Yeah.
was 20.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they looked young enough.
Yes. Also, I don't know if you've ever seen like some people randomly post like high school photos from like the late 80s, early 90s. Everybody in those photos looks like they're 42. Like, so to me, I was like, oh yeah, that makes
tracks.
sense.
That
This
tracks.
this
Yeah,
makes
it
sense.
definitely
And they're
tracks.
just out of high school, really. So like, it's not that far of a stretch for me. I was able to put. I feel like now I look at a high school kid and go, "You look like a baby."
Yeah,
But like, man, back then they looked like they were like literally like about to start an office job tomorrow.
Absolutely.
you think Pac would have sat
Oh
in the
yeah,
office?
man, he was going to be an accountant.
Yeah, Tupac. That was his original aspiration.
Tupac
was
is
to be
that,
an
yeah, there you
accountant.
go.
Shout outs to Tupac though. Rest in peace, unless you're a truther, in which case then he's alive in the Caribbean.
Actually, Death Becomes Her. I thought of Tupac
Yeah,
when
yeah,
we
yeah,
watched
yeah.
that. I watched that.
Yeah.
But we'll get back to that. He's so good in
fucking
this.
so good.
It's his
He was
first
so
movie
good.
role, and he's
So fucking good.
incredible.
Yeah.
Like
The intensity in his eyes,
Insane.
He's giving her.
He was
man.
unhinged.
one of the things I was thinking about too is like in order to make a movie like this, in order to give the performance that works, you have to have lived it. And he grew up in that
Yeah.
neighborhood in New York. So I'm like, I'm sure it was almost not even like acting, like
Yeah.
going beyond, but like it's stuff that he's probably seen before and all this shit. So
Yeah.
it made him feel like he fit in. But what a fucking performance.
Oh,
Holy
yeah.
crap. Like
They're all good, but yeah,
Yeah.
he's like head
He
and
was-
shoulders above everybody.
Yeah.
Like he is very, very good in that movie.
Yeah, you buy his whole descent. To give like a quick plot summary, I feel like we didn't have to for Reservoir Dogs because everyone knows what happens. But for Juice, it's about four boys that are like best friends, brothers, and
They grew up together.
They grew up together. They hang out all the time. They're hanging out.
They skip school. They just eat whatever that concoction was.
Yeah.
OE and bacon and eggs. Yeah,
Bacon and
bologna
eggs,
and
hot
eggs.
sauce,
and
hot
hot
sauce
sauce. Yeah.
with Colt 45 and
That was OE. OE.
Oh, it was
Old English.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was Colt 45.
No, it was Old English.
I just
Um,
love seeing them just drink.
Yeah, just straight up, just Old English. And they get in trouble. There's rival gangs, and at some point they want to get money. So one of them decides to rob the local convenience store, and
Shit gets real.
shit gets real. Like Tupac is the one that comes up with the whole idea. They get the gun, they get everything, they get it together. They have a pretty good plan, and then Tupac just starts his slow descent into complete madness.
I think I would have liked like maybe like 5 minutes more of Tupac like descending or
Yeah.
showing. Like I think there's a scene missing.
Yeah.
To show that arc, because it kind of just felt like he was just like fuck it.
Yeah, and just clips the guy.
Yeah,
And I was like, did you like, yeah, there was no, yeah, you're right. There was there was no setup for it.
like the rest of it.
Yeah.
You can see that he's descending, he's getting crazier or he's
Yeah.
getting more and more unhinged and he's coming apart.
Yeah.
But I think there needed to be one extra scene that showed him
Yeah.
descending a little more. Like you have that beginning scene where like he sees his pops or whatever and he's catatonic.
Yeah.
And like he has that machine gun necklace. I was like,
Yeah.
I wore a cross to school and you're wearing an Uzi. All right. I see the difference.
An MP5, but
An
that's fine.
MP5.
I'll let you have it.
James knows his guns.
James
everybody.
knows his guns, apparently. James going to the rifle range with his MP5 afterwards.
Yeah.
Either way, I think they just needed a bit more to get there.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit of a jump.
Yeah, I agree. It just sort of like, you know what's going to happen, but like, yeah, the whole setup with the heist even to me came out of nowhere. It was just like one day they were all just kind of chilling. The next day he's like, I want to rob a store.
It seemed
Okay.
It seemed random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were hustling for money, right? And he did say that he was upset. He was upset that he didn't go in.
After that
got shot, right?
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if that's hilarious or not, but when he's like, yo, you want in on this? And he's like, no, I'm going to go. Okay, bye.
That's so funny.
It was so fucking cringe.
So
and they
weird.
in like that whole scene, and then he comes out and he was just like, so Buddy's robbing the joint right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why the fuck are you guys still standing there? This is about to turn into a fucking gun show. Get the fuck out of there. And then Buddy's like, yo, man, I want to go in. They're like, no, get the fuck out of there.
But to James's point, it's probably not the first time that's happened to them.
It's probably just a regular Tuesday.
Right.
And like we laugh about it, but like these are the harsh realities.
Yeah. I'm only laughing just because of how
just how it's presented. The way it was presented is
kind of
comical.
It's comical.
Yeah, I totally agree there.
And just like how like nonchalant that guy is.
Yeah,
he's just
exactly.
like, I'm gonna rob this place right now.
Yeah. He was just like, yeah. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna
that's bigger than he is.
I'm gonna let you go. I'm robbing the joint now.
Yeah, like that part. It's a dark humor part. But to your point, like 5-0 was coming. Like, what are they doing?
You hear the sirens.
What are you doing dicking around?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. One of the things that also stood out to me was later on. I do want to talk about that DJ Scratch Fest.
That was intense.
Fucking
that
crazy.
Was nuts, man.
Like,
did you know who one of the judges was?
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah, I didn't know it. I saw his name in the credits afterwards. I need myself a pair of fingerless gloves.
Oh, yeah, scratch gloves. Buddy.
Some fingerless scratch gloves so I can DJ. But like every time he presents the DJ scratching, like, holy shit, that's intense.
Yeah, it was well shot. I loved everything. It was in this like underground warehouse.
Yeah, and like the battle between like the two DJs and stuff. Like that was a great scene.
Even him in his house.
Yeah,
when he's creating it. Yeah.
No, his demo tape to get in and on the ballot. Yeah.
Like, it's real. Like it's intense.
So leading down that same path again, like that's following the trend from Reservoir Dogs. What a fucking great score!
Oh,
like
my
all the
God.
songs that they had in there.
The soundtrack was
amazing. Right when the credits hit, I was like, okay, this soundtrack's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. You gotta put the Juice soundtrack on.
Yeah,
and like sure. I was looking that up too.
If we're gonna do it right, we gotta go steal the LP from someone.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, that record store theft with that girl with all the fucking teeth.
She only has one too. It's only
no, just so much teeth.
Oh,
like it was just, there was a lot big of old horse mouth.
There was a lot of teeth in there.
And he's just like trying to like sweet talk her, and
I'm like, oh yeah, you go Omar Epps, you do it.
Meanwhile, Buddy's stuffing all these LPs into a newspaper.
Oh man. I'm not gonna say the circumstances around how it happens, but the police interrogation.
Yes.
That was another scene that really, really stood out to me. Like that was intense. And to both your points about lived in experiences, that's what that felt like.
For sure. 100%. And I was also going to say, that shit's still happening.
Oh, yeah. Because we've been talking about this for how many podcasts have we done where we've mentioned something like this?
Years. And like, the three of us, we pretty much always watch John Oliver, and he did that segment on like police interrogations and like false confessions and stuff. And I'm watching that, and I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like these are the same shit 30 years later.
And
seriously,
and like the way he presents that, it's intense, and it's only like a 5-minute scene, but it
felt longer.
It
like
felt so long, and it was just
hard.
really, really well done.
Yeah,
like I think it's the centerpiece of the movie. Like it's such a great scene.
Yeah, and it sets everything off, and like all four of them cover for each other. No one gives anybody up.
Yeah,
but even that sets it down a different path of like. Then it leads to the betrayal from
betrayals and suit jackets that are hysterically oversized
and Riverside motherfucker.
Yeah,
best no notes on that.
No notes.
That was amazing.
Oh man,
you can't compete with Pac, but yeah, it was a good line. The very end I didn't like. I thought that was a little goofy, but everything else, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I really liked it. I think there was some parts that could have been tightened, other parts that they could have lost because it's a little goofy. But overall, I thought it was solid, and I look forward to watching it again. How old is Omar Epps? Is it Omar Epps?
Omar Epps, yeah.
How old is his girlfriend in that movie?
Oh yeah, like because her husband was
her ex-husband's like
45.
Yeah, he's old as shit,
and he's supposed to be like a grade 12 or grade 13 high school kid.
He's like 18, 19. like is she like 25?
I don't know.
Like I'll give her that
35?
she's in her. I'll give her that she might be in her like late 20s type thing, but fucking her husband is like what? 45, 50?
Yeah. That whole scene was hilarious.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
Just, hi, nice to meet you. What are you doing?
I'm boning your wife.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm the new model.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
But you guys dug it?
I liked it.
I liked parts of it. I think I need a rewatch.
In 4K, baby.
Yeah, I definitely need a rewatch. There's some parts that I couldn't get on board for some of it. For me, I needed the subtitles because they were talking way too fast, and for me, I couldn't pick up on some of the things, and this
motherfucker doesn't like reading. I need the subtitles.
I just couldn't get on board. I think it was maybe the circumstances of how I watched it and everything. And like, I watched it at like 10 o'clock after a hard fucking day. So I was just not in the right headspace or anything, but like, I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. I definitely want to rewatch it though. Tupac was fucking incredible. Omar Epps was great. It was a movie that I should have liked. And I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. That's
fine. We'll give you that. And because you're willing to rewatch it, I'll give you. Yeah. You're not writing it off.
I'm not writing it off. Like it had an amazing soundtrack. I was on board.
Yeah, man, I was bumping the whole time.
I was on board from the beginning, and then I think it was about halfway through. I think I was just too overly tired, and I was just trying to push through to get it done. And
it does slow down a little bit.
Yeah, it does slow down and everything.
Just before the third act, it does slow down.
There's a slowdown.
I want to rewatch. I want to rewatch. I want to give this movie another shot. It was a movie that I should have liked, and I just didn't.
Okay, so we'll forgive you. Yeah. We will forgive you for this. We're never going to forgive you for Whip It. But we'll forgive you for this.
Well, you get one more chance of this. If you come back after watching Juice the way that you want to watch Juice,
yes,
and you still are upset about it, then we're gonna have to have some words.
All right.
I'm gonna have to some Riverside motherfucker.
Yeah, maybe some Riverside motherfucker.
Calm down. All right. You're a white kid from like suburban Toronto.
It's
Calm
true.
down.
I sure am.
Calm down.
Yo, my hood was called MDV, Money, Drugs, Violence. You don't even know. I don't even know.
James is about to drop his mixtape.
What the hell?
Check it out. 2 weeks. Jamatoozy.
There was one drive-by, okay?
DJ. One drive-by.
One whole drive-by.
One drive-by.
Yeah.
There was a shooting spree down the street from my house. Why are we laughing about this? It was down the street from my house. Calm down about your drive.
I had one down the street from around the corner at the gas station that I go to two times a week.
Behind the Indian food spot.
Behind the Indian food spot.
Well, it's Hamilton. And it's...
That was when I was living in Toronto.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, you had other problems, like that random raccoon in the dumpster.
Yeah.
That Dairy Queen where we got out of the car and the raccoon just popped its head out of the trash can and it was like 8,000 pounds.
Surprise, motherfuckers!
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, Toronto has a problem with trash pandas, okay?
God bless them.
God bless them. They have a problem with that. Either way, we have lived a privileged life.
100%.
Calm down with your Riverside motherfucker nonsense.
Fine.
All right. So the last one that we talked about, or we're going to talk about, is
Death Becomes Her. A movie that I have actually, not me personally, but it was a gift to my parents at Christmas one year. My parents still have the VHS of that movie. And
that was a gift to your parents?
Yeah, I think my uncles gave it to my folks because, they like try to give them random. I think it was like that and Sling Blade. I don't know.
That's where Sling Blade came from? I always wondered why you guys had a VHS
Sling Blade checks out. Death Becomes Her. I can't imagine your parents vibing with Death Becomes Her.
I don't know that they ever did, but I remember the cover art so well because it's the candlestick through her. Like I've remembered that since I was a small child.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy that like that image is just, it's iconic. I've never seen it, so this was the first time I ever watched it.
Yeah, it was the first time I've ever seen it too.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what I was expecting.
I don't know either.
But that was not it.
Yeah.
That was not it. Not that it's a bad thing, but it is not what I was expecting.
Not at all. Absolutely not at all.
That movie was certifiably insane.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy.
Wild.
It's unhinged. It's about,
and it just gets fucking going.
Yeah. Like we talk so much about movies now where you're like, okay, they're too long.
Yeah.
It takes 20, 30 minutes before it gets going.
Sure.
You gotta watch 17 seasons before number 18, which is the banger season.
That's it. Yeah,
like this movie, first 10 minutes, all right, we're off to the races.
On board. Although, let me just say right off the top, and a brief plot synopsis here. Meryl Streep is a Broadway performer / actress.
She was an actress who went to Broadway.
And Bruce Willis is dating Goldie Hawn. And Goldie Hawn has known Meryl Streep since forever, since her actress days. And there's always been a rivalry. Anyway, shit ensues and they become immortal for some reason. But I didn't think Meryl Streep was all that bad on Broadway. Like everybody was standing up and walking out, and I was like,
"That's because it's Meryl Streep."
I'm not giving her a standing O like Bruce Willis is doing, but
Bruce Willis with his toupee or his bad hair, his bad hair from 12 Monkeys,
doing his best Rick Moranis through the entire thing.
Like, I have never seen Bruce Willis as vulnerable and as wacky as he is in this movie.
He's so good in it, and it's such a role. It's such a different role for him, and
I wish he could have done more of these roles.
Right? Yeah,
he's fucking. He's having the time.
Like he didn't get like typecasted into all these action films because he looked like he was having such a ball.
He had a blast. He's got the chops for it. Like if he kept on that road instead of just doing action movies, like what could we have
had? It was always fun when he was doing other things, like when he showed up on Friends for a bit.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Ocean's 12.
Ocean's
fun.
12.
Yeah.
12 Monkeys, like I just mentioned.
12 Monkeys, yeah.
Like when you gave him like these random other roles, like he's a great fucking actor, man.
And Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Not so much Glass.
We'll leave Glass out of it. But like, yeah, he just unfortunately ended up being known for action films, and that's kind of towards the end of his career, that's all he kept getting.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I understand, but like, man,
he's so good.
So fucking good in this.
He's so good. He's having a blast. He's really in tune with the role.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of Rick Moranis, but yeah, that checks out.
That definitely checks out.
He's having fun and he's playing against type.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's almost as amazing, but not quite as amazing as 1992 era visual effects.
Yeah, and also practical effects. Holy shit, that was
Some
good.
of those practical effects were really good, especially like the parts when Meryl Streep's neck.
Yep, 100%.
Those ones, that was really good. And when fucking this might be a little bit of a spoiler alert, but like when Goldie Hawn gets like a fucking shotgun through her stomach.
It's on the cover art.
Well, you don't know the circumstance.
You don't know that, but I haven't seen.
Anyway, she gets a hole.
I didn't look at the cover art. I didn't see a trailer.
There's a hole in her chest.
There's a fucking hole, and it just so good. And Meryl Streep just peeks her head, and she's just like, it.
It's a different role for Meryl Streep too, right?
Yeah. I loved that moment where, you know, Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn have been fighting because Meryl Streep kept stealing Goldie Hawn's men, and Goldie Hawn was trying to get back at Meryl Streep, which is why, anyway. So they both, I guess, finally realize that they can't die. And then they're just like, you know what? Let's just talk it out. And Goldie Hawn sits back down on the spear that Meryl Streep threw her. So she just like sits over top of it. I was like, holy shit! Like these effects are so fucking cool.
They're great. Yeah.
For fucking 92, this looks amazing.
And the makeup looks great.
Yeah.
And
the makeup was
not even just 92.
Great.
Now it still looks good.
It still looks good.
You could see the seams and stuff.
Yeah.
But it still looks great.
Oh, yeah,
and it still looks more realistic.
Yeah.
Than like Doctor Strange or fucking Avengers Endgame type thing where you're like, that's not real.
Yeah.
That's not real, but this is
like,
very real.
Like the bit where like her neck was snapped all the way back, and then she had pulled it back forward, and then like when it was like she turtled into herself,
or even when her neck was like completely like fucking twisted, right? Like
it was all so good, so well done.
It's so well done,
really well done.
Yeah. Like it's
the plot was.
No, the plot, the plot is gonzo bonkers nonsense.
Yeah.
But it's just this gothic nightmare and just
and like that random party.
Oh yeah,
the party.
Everything's like high ceilings. And
huge.
Just
they live in castles.
They all live in fucking castles.
Yeah,
and they like it's just. Goldie Hawn in a fat suit. I don't know if we need that.
Yeah, that was. I was like, ooh, that's.
We don't need that. We don't. But who hasn't just sat there eating frosting
with 78 fucking cats around her while she rewinds one scene
eating
of Meryl Streep
with just her 2 fingers. Actually,
2 fingers. Yeah, and there's cats in the
rewatching fucking Meryl Streep just gets strangled over and over again.
Oh, you might get if you had a mortal enemy like that.
I totally get it. I get it.
And you could have. And, you know, because it's an old VHS, obviously you can't do it. But remember when we had the AB function on DVDs?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah. And you can just set the point. Repeat it. That would just made your life easier.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, it's just, I really, really enjoyed it. And I loved the gonzo humor. The part with Sidney Pollack in the...
oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah.
We're just like, kind of have a little bit of that.
The whole thing where like Bruce comes back in and fuck, she's gone. And like, where do they take her? The morgue. Oh, God, she's going to be so upset that she's in the morgue. Amazing. Fucking Zemeckis, man.
Yeah,
I can't believe Zemeckis did that. Like
I can believe it. Early Zemeckis was a little more offbeat like that.
He was doing random ass shit.
And didn't he go on to do that was 92, right? So didn't he go on to do Forrest Gump after?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But he used the same techniques and the same visual effects as that, because those were like pioneering special effects that went on to win Oscars. It won the Oscar for visual effects, beat Batman, which
shit.
Sure. Because the special effects in that movie aren't as good as Danny DeVito is in the Penguin outfit. Or the Penguin makeup. But like those era effects made it possible for Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Which also still looks great.
And also Lieutenant Dan.
And Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
You got new legs, Lieutenant Dan.
You got new legs.
God, I know a lot of people hate Forrest Gump. I just love it so much.
It's fun.
I just love it.
But yeah, so Death Becomes Her is
it's just fun. It's
fun.
fun.
It's fun.
It's
fun.
Dark.
It's harmless and fun.
Shit. Harmless.
Well, it's harmless.
Is it? It's bleak as shit.
I guess.
Like it is.
I mean,
either way, I was not prepared.
A nice life.
It is pitch black.
Yes, that is definitely what it is.
Yeah, and for some reason Isabella Rossellini just like isn't wearing clothes through the entire movie.
God, yeah.
Like
that's a lot of double-sided tape doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Seriously.
Like she has a butt double, but like the rest of it is her.
Yeah.
I like
a butt double?
Yeah, her butt double is Catherine Bell, who was on Jag.
Oh my God.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Nice. Ooh, shout outs to Jag.
Shout outs to Jag.
All the old people that love Jag.
Love me some Jag. They were gonna redo Jag.
With who?
Like I don't know, James.
We're getting off topic twice.
But I like getting off topic on Jag.
I couldn't take her seriously at some points because like her performance in this kind of reminded me a little bit of Blue Velvet. So I just kept seeing that scene in Blue Velvet where she's like, he put his disease in me.
Oh Lord.
Have you seen Blue Velvet?
No.
Oh, James.
Man. No. You're in for a treat.
But that for a journey.
Oh, wonderful.
Before Tony says it, let me just tell you, me and Tony watched Blue Velvet with Alyssa, my wife, and she literally in the middle of the movie said, "Why are we watching this? What the fuck is wrong with you? You own this is a Criterion? What the fuck is wrong with you?"
And it's one of David Lynch's more accessible movies.
Accessible, great.
Yeah.
So yes, you need to take a Blue Velvet journey.
I do apparently. Fuck. Okay.
But when she was on screen, I was just reminded of this part every time, and she was something else. She was great. I don't know what the fuck she was wearing in the fucking in the
Doesn't
pool,
matter.
that like fucking scarf looking thing, and then she comes out and she gets like, she's just so over the top, and her like little minions,
her manservants.
Yes. She was something else. She was one of my favorite parts for sure.
Yeah, they're all over the top. I think the only one who's not over the top is Goldie Hawn. I'm assuming that's just Goldie Hawn on a Thursday.
It's just her just having a good time.
I went into this movie blind, and like I watched. This was another movie that I watched with my wife. She watched the trailer and everything, so she knew what everything was coming. But like, I did not expect this.
No,
I expected like like a dark comedy about like death kind of thing. But what we got, death becoming
yeah.
And what we got was like something fucking wild.
Absolutely. Like something that is not made now.
No.
So batshit insane that no one would fund it.
Someone would fund it. It would be on like an HBO Max or something. It would be a streaming only thing. It wouldn't go to theaters.
Yeah. Something you'd find on like Hulu or that kind of thing.
But then again, all three of these movies, I don't think you would put in a theater now anyway. They would all be streaming movies, and they'd all probably premiere at fucking Sundance.
Yeah.
Or no, Death Becomes Her is more of a South by movie. True. Or South by Fantastic Fest kind of movie.
Fantasia.
Yeah. Tip Midnight Madness.
Like, for sure.
Like, just wacky.
And I had a blast with it. I loved the hell out of it. And
it was fun.
It's a lot of fun for a movie about death and immortality, what it means to leave a legacy behind. It's deeper
and
than
also,
you think.
It gets deeper. It gets pretty deep at the end.
And also 2 corpses collapsing on the stairs.
Oh my god, that was fucking glorious. I was like, oh my god, is that gonna happen? And I was like,
it just crumbled.
The makeup effects when they took the veils off.
Yeah, they were so caked.
And like that was so good.
Or when they're trying, the makeup
and like
really
the makeup
good.
when on their chest. Dave was just about to bring it up on their chest, and like the skin was like falling down. And you see like the gray and like so well done.
Yeah, and the whole plot to like make Bruce Willis immortal because he's a master at like corpse makeup
with his spray paint.
Spray paint. Yeah.
Nuts.
Wow. Just
Nuts.
Insane.
So definitely a recommend from all three of us.
Hard recommend on all 3 of these movies.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Reservoir Dogs, I don't.
It's true. Most people would have seen Reservoir Dogs, but the other two.
The other
one is definitely a cult movie, and the other one is probably one of the more popular 90s era African American diaspora experiences, because it did remind me a lot of like New Jack City and Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society, which I need to watch now in 4K. Word up to Criterion on that one.
Hell yeah.
I liked exploring these movies. I thought that was kind of fun. I really think we should all pick movies from 82 now.
We're gonna do the 2s.
Yeah,
so 40
anniversary.
40 years. All right,
because I would love to see some 82 movies.
And 2002. I don't even know what came out in 2002.
Nothing good. It wasn't a good year.
It was The Pianist, Chicago.
Pianist.
Are you really gonna sell me on fucking Chicago?
Gangs of New York.
I'll give you Gangs.
I'll give you Gangs, and maybe 2 Towers came out that year, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you 2 Towers too, but.
Minority Report.
Oh, that's a big one. I haven't seen that in years.
Neither have I. Austin Powers and Goldmember.
Fuck off, Dave.
Hey, Goldmember's great. Probably.
Spider-Man.
I don't know. It's been a while.
Gold.
Attack of the Clones.
Oh yeah, Attack of the Clones, real fucking banger.
Yeah. What a great time.
I don't like sand.
It's coarse. It's rough.
It's rough.
It gets everywhere. Let me feed you a pear with the Force.
Yeah, seriously.
Man, just Yoda.
Well, okay, fine. So let's not do 2002. What are we doing in 82?
I've always wanted to see Conan the Barbarian.
So have I. All right.
There's one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. We might have to research this a little bit.
We might have to do a little bit of research because I like immediately I'm like The Thing, but we've definitely seen The Thing.
We've seen The Thing on film.
We don't need to go. We don't need an excuse to watch The Thing, and I don't really want to watch Star Trek 2. Well, I kind of want
Is
to
it
watch Star Trek
Wrath
2.
of Khan?
Is Wrath of
Come
Khan?
on.
I would love to see Wrath
I've
of Khan.
never seen Wrath of Khan.
But then we'd have to watch Star Trek 1.
We might as well just do a retrospective.
We've basically
Star
seen
Trek.
Wrath of Khan. It was Into Darkness.
Was it Wrath of Khan though?
It was
Dave?
basically Wrath of Khan.
Buried alive.
I just love that he's just like, I'm this guy. I'm this random guy. No, really, I'm Khan. It's like, yeah, of course you're fucking Khan.
I am Khan.
So I got some 1982 movies.
Yeah, what do you got?
We got Poltergeist,
Seen it. Love it.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High,
Seen it. Love it.
The Dark Crystal.
I've actually never seen The Dark Crystal.
I've never seen The Dark Crystal either.
All right.
Creep Show.
Seen it.
We got
You've seen
Blade.
Creepshow?
I have seen Creepshow. It's pretty good.
I'd like to see Creepshow.
We got Blade Runner.
Don't want to talk about
No.
Grease 2.
it. No. Thank you.
One of
No.
Dave's all-time favorites, Sophie's Choice.
Ooh. I've
yeah.
never seen Sophie's Choice.
Ooh, no, this is one that we definitely have
Okay.
to do because we
Okay.
haven't seen it. 48 Hours.
Ooh.
Okay. So Conan,
Conan,
Dark Crystal, and 48 hours. All right, there
That
it is.
sounds like a hell of a time.
There it
Oh,
is.
wait. Do we want to put in an officer and a gentleman?
No.
No? Okay.
That'll be you someday, Meg.
What about-
Yes, it will.
What about
Sorry,
Sophie's,
Family Guy.
Sophie's Choice? Though?
Sophie's Choice
This
is
is
also
a
a
real
possibility.
Sophie's Choice, boys.
Wait. We got some more. We got Friday the 13th, part 3.
No.
Oh, we could watch it in 3D.
We can watch it in 3D. We got Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Eh,
Oh God.
No.
Have you seen it?
no.
Oh, Jimmy.
King of Comedy.
I've seen it.
Tootsie.
All right.
First Blood. Rocky 3.
Not The World According to Garp. Come on.
No, fuck that. We also got Basket Case. I know we
Basket
definitely haven't
Case I
seen
wanna
that.
watch. Diner. I was gonna say Diner.
Oh, Slumber Party Massacre.
Oh, see, shit.
Okay, so
okay.
wait.
Cat People.
The best little whorehouse in Texas.
It's not what you think it's about.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's definitely not what you think it's about. Okay, so we got some good picks.
Yep.
So
Next time. Or
next time we will hit you up with some of our picks from 1982.
Yeah.
And we'll have a blast with those ones. I think we should go all blind or
100%.
like
100%.
don't even
No.
like we all saw Reservoir Dogs, so let's just all watch movies we've never seen
Yeah,
before.
Done.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know how you managed to see Creepshow.
Oh, it was. I did it for Halloween.
Oh, 31
I added to my
October.
list, yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
But those 3 movies, you
Yeah.
should watch them.
100%.
Until next time, boys, this has been Finger Guns with Tony, Dave, and James. I am Dave Baldwin.
I am Tony the Venom. No,
Tony
that one
the-
sucked.
Tony
that
the
one
Venom.
sucked. That one sucked.
Tony
let's,
the Venom.
Let's take that back. Let's take that
You're
back.
gonna,
You
you're gonna
take
take
two?
I want to take
Kubrick
two.
it?
Let's Kubrick it and go back. I'm Tony, everybody.
Oh, and I'm James.
And we hope you had fun, as much fun as we did. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.